right, everybody. How we doing out there? Doc Severson with you, and I have Mav out there from Las Vegas, World Crypto Con. How we doing out there, Mav?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. It is a beautiful day today in Las Vegas. Lost
Lost
wages.
Lost wages. So we got people saying, was a BitConnect. Wow, that
No,
is that that
not here.
that really goes way back. That really goes way back these years now. So how's everybody doing out there? We're on a little bit of a delay, so anything that we say probably takes about 20, 30 seconds to get to you. So we will look for your questions a little bit later on yet another quiet day in the crypto markets. What's kind of odd is that we're seeing, and I'm sure you're seeing the same thing here, Mav, is that we're seeing this sort of stealth rally from some of these altcoins starting to come up from the bottom. So some of the ones that nobody's ever heard of before are starting to make these little rallies while the top 20s are just going flat, 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 flat. So that's not going to
Yep.
last for very long. We are going to see an explosion in volatility here fairly soon. Range contraction leads to range expansion that will occur. So that's pretty much my 20 seconds on the market. So Mav, why don't you tell us what's going on? What do you see out there? What are you learning? What are you experiencing? And what do you intend to do out there in Las Vegas besides hit in and out?
Yeah, so one thing I do want to mention that you just brought up with regards to some of these altcoins that are rallying right now. Guys, just be very careful. If you see something on the CoinMarketCap top gainers list and it's pumping, don't jump into it just because it's a moon mission. You know, it's got to have some volume, especially there's got to be fundamentals behind it. You know, don't chase after these coins that you've never heard of before. You know, we will get back to a high volatility market. We will get back to a high volume market pretty soon here, hopefully. So don't put yourself into precarious positions just because you're antsy to get back into the game. I know everybody wants to get back to where crypto was in 2017, but it's going to take some time and it's going to take some patience. So that's my 2 cents on the market as well. 2 satoshis, as you will. So on that note, yes, it is happy birthday Bitcoin. It is the 10-year anniversary of the Bitcoin white paper. So Satoshi bless, you know. And yes, it like the fever pitch in Vegas right now is it's just we're having a good time. I was just at there's like a poker tournament going on right now, and you've got guys like Doug Polk and Phil Hellmuth and Charlie Lee and Brock Pierce, and I know I'm kind of name dropping right now, but they're all in like the same room. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of fun to see. Grant Cardone was there too, so and then a bunch of the lame YouTubers are there too. You know, you've got myself and Crypto, Crypto Zombie, and Crypto Beatles. We're all just like hanging out, having a good time. It's a fun experience. It's a fun atmosphere right now. So yeah, not much going on today. Today's just sort of a hey, let's all mingle and have some adult beverages in Vegas and have a good time. But yeah, tomorrow is when the conference really gets started, and there's a lot of good talk going on. I'm really excited. And there's like a really big like security token event going on. So looking forward to that. But guys, if you could help me out right now, I have a very, very important question. Tonight is the Crypto Ween. That's a terrible name. But there's a party, and Steve Aoki is DJing it, and it's going to be an invite-only crypto party at the Omnia nightclub at I think it's the Bellagio or MGM. I don't know where it is, but I've got two costumes. I need you to vote. So option number one is, you might recognize this. It's the jazzy T-shirt or like the cups, from like the 90s.
Oh no.
So that's option number one. So hit one if that's your choice, and option number two is it's like it's like playmats back in the days. So this is option number two. Hit two in the chat if that's your pick. And based on which one is the winner, that's what I'm going to wear tonight. So this is a very important question. You guys got to help me out here. So
Hey,
yeah,
hey, while we're while we're waiting for the votes to come in, why don't you describe for people what your lunch was?
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a big In-N-Out fan. I love it. Everybody's trying to convince me that maybe Five Guys is better or Shake Shack. No, In-N-Out's the best. So today I beat my personal record. I did three by threes, which is like three patties, three slices of cheese. That's nine patties. It's like 2,400 calories. Disgusting, like absolutely disgusting. I'm definitely proving that I'm American right now. But yeah, if you guys can, if you can do like beat that, let me know in the comments because I don't know. That's pretty good as far as I'm concerned. All right, so it looks like, oh man, this is really close. It's
We have a
almost a tie game.
we have a couple of votes for 61.8.
I think twos have it. So, all right, the placemat wins. This will be my. I'm definitely going to send like a Twitter, or do a tweet later. So thank you very much, guys. That was a really big decision. I wasn't sure which one to go with. So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
the crypto markets are slow, and we have to we have to vote on a shirt for Halloween. And it's, guys, hold on, don't fall asleep on these markets because this is when we do have something that's this quiet, this is usually when we have explosions coming from this. So make sure you have your prices set where you know exactly don't be a deer in the headlights when we do get movement. Don't just sit back there and go, wow, there it was. I guess I missed my move. Just because you're waiting for somebody else to tell you what to do. Make sure that you take the time right now while things are quiet to map out exactly what you will be doing going forward.
Yeah, and it's definitely the same sort of rhetoric that we've tried to preach throughout this bear market, is that this is a time for you to do your research, to prepare while everybody else is panicking or depressed. This is the time to get excited, guys. This is when, if things start to turn around, as I think they will, we've got a lot on the horizon. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Even just in the past couple of weeks, we've learned about some really big bombshells. There's a lot of institutional money coming into space. There's a lot of forces behind the scenes that are moving right now. Even this week is a really big week in terms of, we've got World CryptoCon in Vegas right now where I'm at, and that's fun. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, and then Malta blockchain summit's going on November 1st. That's big too. Malta's looking to really dictate the space going forward, and they've got a lot going on there. There's like a ton of vendors and projects that are presenting there and trying to win the affection of the Maltese government. And then you've got the Ethereum blockchain developer meetup going on right now as well. So there's just tons of stuff going on right now. So just because the market is quiet does not mean that we are, sitting on our hands by any means. It is a time to really, get excited again about crypto and, what else is going to come out of this space. So yeah, it's a great time.
I just got tagged. I just got called Heisenberg.
Is that your Halloween costume?
Yeah. All I need is a fedora, and you're goddamn right.
The danger.
Say my name.
Oh man.
Let's see. Well, we've had a number of questions coming in. Doc, can you share how you make the best use of the crypto screener? Keep it simple on there. Add a couple of filters. Just filter out the exchanges that you have access to. Why bother looking at an exchange that you have no access to? So if it's a coin that you don't have any exchange set up, don't even look at it. Don't bother with that. And generally what I'm looking for is for things to be above the 200-day moving average. If they are below the 200-day moving average, they're not in an uptrend. You're buying garbage, right? You're basically, garbage. You're bottom feeding if you're below the 200. So wait until things start to trend higher. Buy things that move higher. Those two things will save you a lot of grief. Somebody else was also writing in about, hey, if we get more institutional money into here, aren't we going to get more market manipulation? Well, Actually, it's a situation where the more people at the party, the better off we are. We want deeper and deeper and deeper markets. What you don't want are thin markets, because thin markets, then it's really, really easy to push that market around. It's really easy to dive in there and go dumpster diving and go take out a bunch of stops and then ram it right back up again. But if markets are really, really deep, if you've got some serious depth of market, you know what I'm talking about when I do that, then you can't really manipulate. It doesn't matter how big you are, you can't manipulate the market. So we do want institutional involvement. We do want everything that comes with that. We do want more volume. We do want more derivatives. And once we get more derivatives and options and futures that are part of this market, we will get the bigger players in, because then they will be able to manage their risk much better. So embrace it. Embrace bigger markets, guys.
Yeah, so Neil's asking about Swarm, and I think that relates to a bigger topic of security token goes. Swarm is definitely an interesting player, and that was one I featured in the recent video I did on security tokens. So Neil, I would recommend that you check out that recent video that I did about them. But yeah, Storm is definitely one that I've got my eyes on right now. I think they're one of many. I've also been talking a lot about PrefLogic. They just did a technical AMA on their Telegram last night, and they did, I thought, a really good job. So there's a lot of potential in what's going forward with the security tokens and the security token offerings. I think in 2019, regulation and institutional players are going to be a much bigger piece of this space than they already are. And I think security tokens are the bridge that facilitates that. So definitely look to them as one of the best use cases moving forward and emerging markets within crypto. So yeah, good question. Yeah, thanks, Tyson. I really appreciate that.
200 moving average on which chart? Well, that's the whole point of using a screener, is that you are looking for any potential chart and you want the price to be above the 200 period moving average, which is usually the daily moving average. Generally, the 200 moving average represents the mean of the price and represents an uptrend if the price is above it, and represents a downtrend if the price is below it. I'm sure you can find exceptions to that, but generally it's just a really simple filter that I use on every screener. So the answer is not what coin. It's like any coin shows up in the screener. If it's below, then you're prevented from even seeing it. That's the whole point. You don't want to sit there and sort through 3,000 tokens. You just want to be informed of maybe the 5 or 6 that are doing what you want them to do.
Yeah, so good. Eric is asking about derivatives and what would they do to change the market once they're introduced.
Derivatives. So let's see, I'll give you guys a 30-second update on derivatives. Derivatives are things like options and futures. So the one beautiful thing about futures contracts, and you'll see this right now it's essentially what BitMEX is doing, but you'll see a much more classic version of futures contracts when players like Digitex get involved for that. So it is a very simple long or short contract. Right now, if you want to short something, you have to be able to borrow that, sell it to open, and then you pay interest on it, which is not good. You also have unlimited risk to the upside. That's not good. I don't want retail traders openly naked shorting the spot currency. But when you use futures contracts, you're ambidextrous. You can go long, you can go short. They're meant for short-term scalps. They are not meant to be really held a long time overnight. That's the futures contract. So you'll see more and more futures contracts come into the big players. Right now, we have futures contracts on Bitcoin, XBT, and also the CME contract, which is basically useless. But once the better crypto players start getting involved, futures will be big time. And you'll see those across Ethereum, Litecoin, and as the coins get bigger, you'll see that. Now, options, we're probably still some ways away from truly getting options into the market. Deribit is one company that's doing it right now. They're in Europe, from what I understand. They do KYC, so they block the US. You can't get in if you're US. But what you'll find with that is that you can become an insurance company. So the whole point about being an insurance company is you'll take some risk out of the market. You'll be paid for that. And it's your job not to give it all back, right? So you get paid. You can create income from selling options. You can also use the leverage of buying options as a risk managed. So anytime you go long or short on a crypto, right, you have unlimited risk of it. It could go to zero, it could blow up on you, depending on whether you're long or short. But if you buy an option, you've limited the risk to what you pay for that derivative. So derivatives are awesome. That's my background. I've been doing them for the last 15 years. Once crypto grows up, you'll see many more derivatives, and the big boys won't get involved with crypto until they provide those.
So, Alessandro asked about the Ichimoku cloud, which is that's sort of the meme indicator for you, isn't it?
I think, look, what I find with trading and technical analysis is that everybody kind of goes on, and it's almost like the journey of Sisyphus. You guys are aware of the fable of Sisyphus, right? He was condemned to roll a stone up the hill, and once he got it up to the top of the hill, it would roll all the way back down. So most retail traders are also condemned to live the life of Sisyphus, is that what you're going to do is you're going to roll that stone up the hill. You're going to add more and more and more studies and more studies and more studies until you can barely see your price chart whatsoever. And then that stone rolls down the hill because you've created a system that's way too complicated. What you find is that the people that do get over the hill, not age-wise, but over the, you know what I'm talking about here, that once you get over the hill on that, is that your systems become simpler and simpler and simpler. There's nothing wrong with the Ichimoku cloud. I just think it's very complex, and I think it's oversold that, oh, we have a view of the future, which is don't make me do the Heisenberg thing, because that's not going to happen, right? So the cloud is the cloud. I just don't think it's the panacea that people paint it out to be.
Someone's asking if you're
What's that?
that you would be very good as Lando's assistant.
Well. That one flew right over my head. Yeah.
Oh, that's very good. Very good. Any news on Walton Coin? Walton Chain, sorry. Yes, I've constantly talk about that one. And the thing with that is they're going to be moving into mass production soon. So yeah, it doesn't look like it's very exciting right now, but that's because they're gearing up for a pretty big 2019. So that's all I can really tell you about Walton Chain right now. But yeah, it's still good things in the works for those guys. Let's see what else we got going on.
I like it when people like drag out the Mav. Are you buying more Neo now? That's good.
Neo and just about every other platform, I think. And I've been saying this for the past couple months. It's a slow game of attrition right now. It's a slow. Platforms are tough. Platforms are all about achieving a critical mass of users and getting people to build on top of your platform. And right now it's an arms race to see who can attract the most business in a down market, because there's not much demand. But that's the thing is, whoever can come out of this the strongest is going to be the best player. So Neo is in kind of a unique position with that, because they have to work with the Chinese government. But I think that's also an advantage for them moving forward, because inevitably China they're going to do things the way that they do. We saw that with the Great Chinese Firewall and how they play the internet, and we're seeing it now with like the social credit system and how they do everything on WeChat. And there's a lot of different things going on. So Neo is pretty uniquely positioned. It's going to be a while until I think it's really the killer platform that it was in late 2017. That was certainly one of my best plays. I used to be really big into ant shares, and then yeah, we saw how that went. But yeah, guys, definitely platforms are still one of the best plays that you can be making right now in times of uncertainty, because inevitably people have to build on top of platforms, or they're going to choose that 9 times out of 10 moving forward. So yeah, that's a good question.
Couple questions here. First of all, trading bots. I think trading bots work much better if you've got a market that's generally heading higher. So right now it is a very, very choppy market, very dangerous right now. You can turn your bot loose and that thing can just grind your account into dust. Just be very, very careful with that right now. So you'll hear a lot of people say, well, this so-and-so guarantees 1% a day, or there are people that are on the chat tonight that are getting affiliate commissions for pumping this thing. And right now, it's just not a great time to be using a bot unless you've got a strategy that can work within a very narrow spread of price range. And I think it's just very dangerous right now. So wait till the trend comes. Don't be in a rush. The trend will come. We'll get it. For those that are asking about the moving averages, it's the simple 200. Everything about me is simple, right? So we don't need exponential. Exponential is more... Use the exponential moving averages if you're using an actual, like a moving average crossover type of strategy where you need that speed, you need that responsiveness. All right. Oh, somebody was asking about Chainlink. Chainlink is one of those ones that I was talking about before that's making this sort of stealth rally. It's really looking good. It's behaving very nicely too, because what I want to see out of a coin right now that's coming off of a bottom is I want to see breakout, consolidation. Take a rest, breakout, consolidation. I want to see that stair-stepping behavior. Chainlink is a great example of something doing that. We also have like coins like Genesis Vision is doing that. Metacoin is doing that as well too. So we're starting to see some of these altcoins making this sort of lift off the bottom and kind of getting a running start ahead of the market.
Yeah, that's definitely there's definitely going to be breakout stars right now with the way that the market's going. Doc, do you believe that or what's your view on the notion that we've hit a bottom, or there's nowhere else Bitcoin can go but up? Is that sort of a false narrative to hold on to, or is there some truth to that? People always post this descending triangle pattern as if it's the Bible, but this is crypto and anything can happen.
Should I break out the old pen here? I might be able to do that. Let's see. Let me break out the pen.
I don't know about you guys, but I watched TA of other people on YouTube, and I'm not calling them out or anything, but you do start to notice a lot of pretty consistent things that people say. It's almost like they are kind of regurgitating the same sort of stuff over and over again, and that kind of stuff frustrates me, because then you kind of get into a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then if everybody's right, then everybody's wrong. It's the market exists to make the most amount of people wrong. It's kind of fun to see. So what you got there, Doc?
Okay, so I think I'm broadcasting my my little triangle here. So this is a descending triangle, and actually in one of our trade schools, I think it was it yesterday? All the days are blurring together, but we actually looked up the probability of the descending triangle, and according to Thomas Belkowski, somebody that wrote a book that's about this thick. Well, you can't see me, but it's really thick. Trust me, if you could see me, it's really thick. And he says it's 55% probability that we're going to break lower on a descending triangle. So here's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see this actually break and everybody go, oh no, the end is upon us. The end is upon us. And when everybody sees the same thing, everybody is generally wrong. So what I would like to see is I would like to see this begin the break and have massive volume in here. I want to see just huge volume of people saying, I can't take this any longer. I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I bought in at December 2017 and I got to save what few shekels that I have left. And what will happen is we'll see something like this. So when everybody sees the same thing, usually the opposite occurs from that. And nobody will be on this rally. Nobody, trust me, nobody will be on this rally because everybody has what's called recency bias. Everybody's going to be looking over their shoulder going, well, I'm not going to go long because we just had this sell-off down here and it's going to happen again. And it's the same thing will happen up here. I'm not going to go long because we just had this sell-off. Recency bias will kick in. This is what's called the disbelief rally. Nobody is on board these things. Nobody's on board. And next thing you know, we're up here. And then you're chasing after it. So that's what we want. I want this hook down here. I want this fake out move. I've seen it happen before a million times. When everybody sees the same thing, that's usually when it hits. So I can hope for that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Price is king. Price can do whatever it wants to do, right? Price is king. You guys have any more questions? We need to get Mav back to the show. So we'll take a couple more questions here tonight. Wanted to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight and showing up and doing a little bit of Ready Set Live. Okay, we're just kind of reading through the comments here. As long as it doesn't go to zero, you're fine. That's cool.
Yeah, you and me both, man.
Well, Chuck, yeah, Digitex. I love Digitex because of the practicality of it. That the disruption element of Digitex. I love that about these guys. I just hope they can pull it off. They've got an enormous technical challenge. I really do hope that they can pull it off. If they're able to do that, they will own the world. But we're also seeing just this whole notion, maybe Mav, you can talk about this whole notion of STOs coming along. And I think that is also going to be an enormous wave of application that we're going to be looking at.
Yeah, because think about it, like a futures exchange, security token offerings, this is a language that Wall Street speaks. You know, this is the perfect opportunity for the guys that are going to be bringing lots more money to the space. You know, this is what they want to see, and they want to see what the market is currently doing, which is, you know, not a lot of volatility. Things are, you know, actually pretty reasonable right now. We don't have a whole lot of big connects or anything like that going about. You know, yes, we had things like the Oyster scam earlier this week, but you know, on average, I think that the market is pretty reasonable right now. Most of the projects still left in this space are, you know, worth investing in some capacity. Not all are great projects, but that's just so. Yeah, I think that Doc's exactly right. We're kind of seeing the market shift towards maturity. So finding projects, finding those sorts of projects that embody that sort of you know, maturity that the market needs right now, that's very important. Doc, you're I think you're on the wrong screen.
Oh, I'm sorry here. Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. So yes, that's I think the best piece of advice I could give you right now is seek out those sorts of projects that will be at the forefront of crypto moving forward towards maturity and adoption, and whatever embraces that notion, that trend, that's what you want to be investing in right now. So hopefully that makes sense. I can't really give you a specific project because it's more than just a specific project. You need to embrace this sort of mindset. You need to embrace this sort of mindset of look at the sorts of opportunities. It's like going to the beach and looking for a specific seashell versus knowing what to look for. That was a terrible metaphor, but you know what I'm saying. So, okay, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, yeah. Well, I really appreciate you guys joining us on a Wednesday night or morning or wherever you guys are in the world. This is the thing I love to do the most. It is so much fun to talk crypto. It's I wish you guys were here with me. And if you're in the area, definitely swing by World CryptoCon at the Aria, because it's great to just talk to people about this space and about what's going on. I every time I have a conversation with a random stranger at one of these conferences, it ends up being one of the most interesting conversations I've ever had. So I highly recommend it. If you haven't been to a crypto conference before, you haven't been to a meetup, or just somebody or a certain coin that you're really interested in, like is having a meetup or something like that, definitely go. Make the opportunity. You will not regret it, because the people that are in this space genuinely care. They are genuinely here to through such a massive space of innovation, and there's so much opportunity here. So I think it's so endemic of like where we are today. This is the 10-year anniversary of Bitcoin's white paper, and I'm so excited for the next 10 years. It's going to be amazing. So thanks for being on this ride with us. We're all in this together. It's this space is just there's so much possibility. It's just mind blowing. So all right, I'm going to get off my high horse now, but
And if you guys are looking for Mav, you'll find him at the nearby In and Out.
that's true.
Horsing
Or
down some protein.
I am the second tallest person here. That Crypto Crow guy is just the tallest human being I've ever met. He's like 7'2" or something like that. It's amazing. So I'm sorry. Good question, Tyson, about Bakkt. Bakkt will make a difference, but I don't think it will be the sort of difference people are hoping so right at the get-go. Crypto has a way of pricing in future events, and now everybody knows that it's December 12th. I remember, I think, right? That's when they're launching. So everybody knows that's when Bakkt is coming to the table. So there's no surprise there. There's no, it's going to be another one of those buy the rumor, sell the news events. In fact, it's probably going to go down on the day that Bakkt launches. But that's okay, because what they're bringing to the table is important. And I have criticized Bakkt. I've been very vocal about how I feel about the fact that they're bringing some of these Wall Street practices like rehypothecation and commingling to the table, and that's concerning to me. And almost like a refuting what I said, they've specifically come out and said, no, we're not going to do rehypothecation and commingling. That's not us. And while I want to believe them, they, at the end of the day, they are a company, and they are a Wall Street company, and they can very much come out in the future and say, actually, it is in the best nature. We've decided that to better serve our investors, we will start doing rehypothecation. Gosh, a lot of syllables. That's how things work. I'm sorry to break that to you, but that's okay, because that's they're still going to bring a lot of positive change to the space, I think. And they're the first of many, for sure. So it's going to be interesting, for sure.
Okay, let's see if there's a couple other questions here. People still asking questions about hardware wallets, and like, when do you pull things off exchanges and those kind of things.
Well, it depends on the investment and the investment size, and really your investment strategy. So that's not really an answer. But guys, if you have a significant investment and you want to protect it, do the best you can to protect it through using stuff like a hardware wallet. what I often say is that security is a mindset. And, certainly you don't want to be in the position where you have all of your assets on an exchange because, as people like to make the point of saying, if you don't own the private keys, you don't own the crypto. And that's very true, as we saw this week, or I guess it was last week, but with Maple Exchange being hacked and basically being shut down, or with BitGrail and Nano, we got Bitfinex, we've got Mt. Gox. There's many different examples of this throughout the storied history of crypto. So I don't think it's not a risk worth taking to trust these companies with your assets, your liability. This is the stuff you worked very hard. If you want to protect it, then there's very easy ways of doing so, and there's very secure ways of doing so.
What's your read on that? There's been a couple of questions on over-the-counter transactions and whether or not people are trying to, is this potentially institutional investors, or is this somebody that just wants to hide their tracks? What's going on with that? Do you have any background on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. We see big trades like that, and there's it is definitely a shift. We're definitely seeing more OTC trades that I think are linked to the big institutional players. But yeah, honestly, I can't know, and I can speculate, but at the end of the day, they are publicly broadcasted, but at the end of the day, they're also private transactions. So I'm not sure. I guess I can't speak to that. But yeah, I think that's definitely a trend that we're going to continue to see grow.
It's like other markets. I mean, where you have either futures or options or something like that. You'll see a big player throwing a bid down. You don't know who that is. You don't know where it's coming from. So, let's see if I can get this word right. Anonymity in the transactions is something that we have to have. Okay, let's take two more questions, and then we are going to go off and go trick or treating here. I'm going to go knocking on doors and go as Heisenberg tonight, I guess. That's what I'll be doing. Give me your candy. Okay, any other questions, guys? We want to thank you guys for hanging out with us here, and if there's anything else that you want Mav to go hunt down while he is at World CryptoCon, let him know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna. So this video will be available here shortly. So if you guys ask me about a coin, I'm just going to bring up a chart, and if it's in a downtrend, I'm going to say avoid it. I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. I mean, these are principles that go back over 100 years. It's like buy stuff that's going higher. Don't buy stuff that's going lower. Don't, yeah, meet and greet. There we go.
You got a meet and greet, but they didn't put put me on there. How rude.
Is there a way to study? If I could give you one book, it would be to read what's called Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. It was written in 1923, and it's got everything that you need to know to invest. Without learning about charts, you can just learn how to read price based on what this guy says. His name is Jesse Livermore. It was one of the greatest traders ever. So, in fact, I did a trade school session on him today with some wildly dedicated folks.
Let's see. Oh, which YouTubers do I like? I like all YouTubers. We're all in this together, and it's very fun to yeah, Data Dash. Oh man. No, we're a funny breed. It's we get a lot of these guys persona, or like they've got their habits, their things, and then you get them out in the open and they're completely different people. Yeah, it's thing. I might rag on guys like Superman, but I've heard in the wild he's actually a pretty chill guy who isn't boisterous like he is on camera. And no offense to Super, that's the thing I've heard about him. So
Yeah.
it's very fun. We're real people. At the end of the day, we are doing entertainment, but we're also just real people who are we're doing this stuff with you guys. I love doing this stuff because I hopefully give you guys a voice, and I want to be the medium for you to express your questions or your concerns. And I can go down the road and go talk to Charlie Lee or Brock Pierce or whoever you want me to, and I want to do that for you guys because that's it's cool. It's cool. It's this space. What you'll find at a lot of these like crypto conferences is that it's a very even playing field. There isn't a lot of the I feel like with other industries, people are podiums or pedestals, and they rely on their titles or whatever. But with crypto, everybody is on the same playing field. It's very egalitarian. I don't know. It's very cool. I really appreciate it. I think the space is just so new that everybody, maybe in a couple of years it will change, but for right now, it's just it's really tight knit. It's really awesome. So thank you very much for being a part of this journey with us. So yeah,
Mav, there's like a basic common theme here is that they want you to give Roger Ver a big hug. So if you find Roger out there, just give him a big old bear hug. Okay, hey guys, I wanted to let's. I think Mav is losing his Wi-Fi out there, so we wanted to thank you guys and make sure you go. Be good to all those kids that are out there, and be good to your market. So you guys have a great evening, and we'll do this again soon. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys. Have a great night. Great night. See you guys.
Adios.
There goes a sight from my soul.